So I'm here with Donna Roberts today in outside of San Felipe, Baja, Mexico. And I've asked her to join me today to do a piece of film that we can share with the world about a project that she designed and is executing here with the local women. So Donna, when did this all start for you, that you got started with this vision?
Probably 40 years ago, actually.
Wow.
I was at a really low point in my life, probably the lowest I've ever been. And a young man that I hardly knew came into my life and changed my whole life by giving me an opportunity to get into college and do a lot of things like that. And I never ever forgot him, and the truth is I don't even know his last name. But anyway, when I completed college, I became a therapist, and all my life I made sure that no matter what I did, part of it was helping people who couldn't get help any other way. So I developed a lot of new programs and did that. Then I became pretty successful in both that and doing real estate. So when I was 52, I retired and came to Mexico. I tried to start Desert Mothers at that time, but there was just no interest. Nobody would help me at all. And now, 10 years later, we're really going wonderfully.
Timing has a lot to do with things in life.
Yes,
when
it
it's
does.
the right time for it. So tell us how you got started. Did you meet the women first, or did you get the concept and then find the women? Or?
I got the concept, and I knew a few people in the art world, and one of them was visiting me. He has a friend and a guest, Alfonso, and he and I started talking, and he asked me a very important question. He said, if you could do anything with your life, Donna, what would it be? And I said, oh, I know. And I started talking about my idea and concept of Desert Mothers. And he said, that's wonderful. How can I help? And I thought about it a few minutes, and I said, well, if we could bring famous artists in, artists that people know and respect and really want to learn from them, we could charge the American community for the classes. The money we made from the classes, we could pay for all my Mexican women to go through it.
Perfect.
And yes, and he said, have you talked to Aida about it? And I said, no, actually, I said, I hadn't even thought about it in years until you just mentioned it. He said, call Aida. I picked up the phone. I think I said maybe 7 things to her about what I wanted to do and everything. She said, when do you want me there? And that's how it all started. It just flowed so beautiful, Jan. I mean, it was just meant to happen at that time. Oh. And we did our first class with 20 Americans and had a waiting list, couldn't get them all in, and 10 wonderful Mexican women, which I rounded up. And I had 3 weeks to get the class put together, the American and the Mexican women, and we did it. We pulled it off beautifully. Everybody told me it would never happen. It happened.
Yeah, when the time is right.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So what was your invitation to the Mexican women? What did you say to them how you wanted them to get involved with this?
I asked them if they would like to become women who could support themselves, support their families, and become business women and never have to ask for anything from anybody ever again. And they loved it.
I would think so.
See, Dad, there's a real misconception. People think people want charity. They don't. Mm-hmm. It's humiliating to take charity. And I've always known in my heart of hearts that anybody would, or let's say 95% of the people would, if you give them away, they can do it on their own. They'll take it and they'll work like mad to make it happen.
And the best part is if it can be something that's truly can come from their heart or a passion, which art, I think you have to have that before you can create.
Well, the tricky part of this is none of them had ever hardly even held a Crayola in their hand because, you know, their life was just about surviving, being able to feed their kids. Most of these women have quite a few kids, their husbands have left them, and they're on their own. So the idea of creating artwork was scary for them. They kept saying, no talent, no talent, no can do, no can do. And I said, yes. Because another belief I have, Jen, is of course some people are born artists, but that's maybe 2%. Art is like anything else. It's a skill you can learn. And most famous artists, they all go to school, they all go to college now, or had teachers in the old days. So my biggest chore was to teach them that they could do this and make them believe. That's what I want to say. Make them believe it, and they love it.
Well, and the thing that's beautiful about mosaic is the fact that I think mosaic is a beautiful metaphor of life.
Yes.
Because you take all these separate pieces and colors and textures and you put it together and create something new.
Right.
And that, in a way, that's kind of what we're, a part of this little journey of how we're all becoming more aware of how we're connected, the beauty in it, and the uniqueness of everything.
That's why mosaics was the absolute perfect thing for us to start with. Because it's all these little pieces and all these things that by themselves are okay. But then you start putting them together and you create and you tell the story of your life, whether you're meaning to consciously or unconsciously.
It evolves as you start to work with it. And it doesn't recreate, I realize that there's a certain amount of training, but it's really a spontaneous art form. Because as it comes together, it starts telling you what it is.
Right.
Which is what I love about the uniqueness of it. So how many ladies did you start out with?
We started out with 9. We lost 3. Then we got up to 12 at one time, and there was some illness, and boyfriends have made them quit. A few things like that. So right now we're back down to 9.
Okay. And do you have a studio where this is all taking place, or?
In 1 year's time, we have 3 facilities, a semi-truck, diesel truck, and a van. And we've done that all in 1 year. Now, 2 of the facilities, one of them I have half interest in, and my partner graciously has allowed us to use it for no rent. The other one I own totally, and the third one was just donated to us 2 weeks ago by a wonderful Mexican couple. And they gave it to us for 10 years for $1.
Oh, how beautiful.
So now we have 3 facilities in 1 year. That's remarkable.
Amazing. Well,
I know the universe, or whatever you want to call it, is guiding this project.
Absolutely. Well, that's the way, that's the gauge, is full.
Yes.
And if it hits other people, it opens their hearts.
Yes.
Then you know you've got something that's working.